Good day, my fellow Nigerians. This is part 11 of the principles that we need to apply to make Nigeria a better place. So, in this conversation, I want to talk about how to build a brighter future, a bright and beautiful future. Now, I come to understand that, or if we look at our life, we find out that a lot of times we keep saying, life no balance, life no balance, life no balance. Now, when you keep authoring the word life no balance, you are actually creating an unbalanced life. Yeah, you're creating an unbalanced life. Rather, I think that what we need to do as a people is to begin to create words, that is, consciously create a brighter future. Now, why I termed this principle creating a bright and beautiful future is that there's this song we sang as kids. It said, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. Now, I want us to mark the word great and small. Now, to note that word great and small is very important, because when we say something is great, a lot of times we think it's super big. It's everybody wants to become a billionaire, thinking that you must be so big for you to be great. Now, but the truth is, in that little capacity that you are functioning, you can be exceedingly great. You can be super extraordinary. It could be just in how to make people laugh. It could be in that little task that your boss sent you to do. It could be in that little thing that you aspire to do or to become. So back to what I'm saying. Now, for us to understand how our minds create these things we say, I think I need us to understand something about the human mind, or the brain, not the mind, the brain, yes. Now, there's this thing called the reticular activation system in the brain. Okay, no, before I even get there, let's understand that the brain is more of a kind of information highway. The brain is like a library that contains every information you have seen, you have heard, and you aspire to get. Now, all this information is contained in the brain. Everything you have ever read, everything you have ever understood, everything you have ever been told, every lifestyle you have ever been exposed to is stored in your brain. Now, it's stored like the way information is stored in a hard drive, or in in a flash drive. Now, the main work of the brain is to connect different dots and make a meaning out of what it is presented with. That is, scientists call it neurons. The neurons are seeking connection. They are like it's like when 3 or 4 computers are connected to the internet, and when you are in your computer or with your phone, you can access a website. That website is stored on another server, it's stored on another computer. Now, if a server is not accessible, you cannot access it. So the brain seeks connection and it is firing. Now, close to this connection that the brain seeks, the brain is always, because the brain cannot differentiate between right and wrong, good or bad. All it knows is that there is an instruction to do, and it to execute. Now, in life, good things happen to us and bad things happen to us. But it is as a result of our leadership that we will determine which one we pay more attention to. For us as leaders, some leaders are good at being grateful. I'm not talking of just saying thanks. I'm talking of being grateful from the heart, appreciating what is happening to you, making it a lifestyle to be grateful for the things that have happened to you. Now, when you do this over time, your brain begins to look for all the good things. So at the end of the day, if you're the type that examines your life, at the end of every day, or at the end of when you want to examine your life, if it's once a week, if it's once a month, if it's once a year, and you appreciate those things that have happened to you, no matter how little they are. It could just be the fact that you were able to drink a bottle of mineral, or you were able to eat food that day. When you begin to do this over time, your brain begins to look for the good. Now, the long-term benefit is that this transforms your thinking and puts you into a positive mental attitude. And this we must remember is that positive mental attitude is not something you do at strategic times. It's a way of life. It's not something you force yourself into. It's something you learn how to do and you get into it. So when you begin to say life no balance, every little thing you say life no balance, that reticular activation system is like a gateway, it's like a portal, it's like the guard that allows particular information to get into the brain. So when you keep saying this, your brain takes it as a command. And as a man thinks, so he becomes. Your brain begins to interpret life as it is unbalanced. And before you know what's happening, you begin to create all the unbalanced things that your mind has ever conceived or you've ever heard of. So I think that for us as a nation, we have to divert or we have to twerk our thinking from this life no balance to saying words like all things bright and beautiful. This is great. I appreciate. I'm thankful. It's going to be better. Tomorrow is going to be better than today. When you use such words, you teach your mind, you teach your brain, you teach your thinking, you teach your lifestyle to become positive. I think it's Aristotle who said excellence is an act won by training or habituation. Now, when you keep doing this over time, there's a wonderful transformation that will go on within you. And as a nation at this point in time, I think that one of the best gifts we can give to ourselves and to humanity at large is to blossom what is within us. We have great minds. We have resources. We have what it takes. The greatest resources is not what is in the ground. It is what is in people's head. So when you say positive words, you transform life and you bring about change in your environment, because that's the essence of humanity. Change, growth. That's why in 1000 there was nothing like cell phones, but today you have cell phones, we have 5G. Maybe in the next 10, 15 years you may have 100G. The type that you'll be in your room, you think, and your AI in the kitchen will get what you're thinking and go and do what you want. I don't know. Okay, but it's because we're thinking differently. That's why we are creating things. So now is the time for us to create, because the world has awakened. Maybe you don't understand, but the truth is we have passed the information age. We are now in an age that, I've not termed it a name, but we're now in an age where the information we have acquired is blossoming within us. And that's why you see a lot of rebellion everywhere, every facet of life you go to. A very simple one is that even the kids who give birth to these days, they are so stubborn and they are so knowledgeable, they are so different that sometimes some parents look at the children and na me born this speaking. That's because the world has changed. So the world that we're living in today, if we don't sit up and begin to create a positive future for our nation, in the next 20, 30 years, 50 years max, we'll be in a deep shape. We'll be in a mess. Because I don't know, some of you, if you know what's going on in the international community and how people are wanting to come into Nigeria and come and do things, even though all our youth want to japa. Okay, let me not go there. But I think that one thing we need as a nation now is to stop using negative words. Use positive words. Say things that will brighten your day and build you. Because as a man thinks, so he will become. If we think aright, Nigeria will become aright. Nigeria will become greater. And we'll get there. I believe in us. I believe that we can do it. So let's do it as a team. Cheers.